This is just OBS, what we don't know. So it's just like the pictures, but this is the video for this. So you turn it if you need it.
Yep.
But you can grab it and just move it if it's in the way of something.
Gotcha.
Of that nature.
Cool.
Or
Yeah, so I'll sit here.
Take it all the way off if you want it to.
All right. So
I'm going to watch it later, but I'm heading out.
Did you have any questions on the test?
I don't right now, but I'm sure once I watch the video, I will. So I'll send them to you.
Okay, because I don't know.
So if you are watching us live
That's fine.
or watching us replay, go ahead and log into your USA Lacrosse account. I probably should have, when you log into your US Lacrosse account, I'm just going to go back here. So Sean's account, you want to click on My Transcript. And then after My Transcript, we are Girls Officials Annual Certification 2025. And then what we are going over today is the Girls Official 2025 NFHS Rules Exam. You will have to log in again once you click that. I'm sure there's a reason why, but I'm not an IT guy. All right, so this should take us to question 1, and it is in order. And if you are online, if you have a question, put it in the chat box. I know some of us emailed Tom of why is that the right answer. I know what I have come to realization. I always teach other sports, and I always have a story and a play. So if there's historical reference of thinking like, why is this a disadvantage, advantage? Let's have a better understanding, because then now us new officials can have that conversation with coaches and players, and they have a little bit more credibility with us. But Tom, I'm going to hand it over to you. All of these are answered. I have one incorrect one. But again, the big thing is having the conversations. Why is this a rule, advantage, disadvantage? And all right. Why is it that way?
All right.
Other guesses?
So before we go through the test, what I would like everyone to do is, if you have a pen and paper, that's fine. If you have a computer, that's fine. But let's make a few notes on things that we can refer to when we're going through the test, because that'll make things a little easier, I believe, to go through some of these scenarios. Because for myself, I always think of that all these rules in any sport, you should be able to follow a flow chart of, if this happens, then that. If this happens, then this. So I think this will help. So the first thing I want to write down somewhere on your notes is, when do officials stop the clock? Okay. So, and I'm not talking like for team timeouts or injuries, but during the flow of a game, when do we stop it? So we talked about it last week quite a bit. We'll have offside. That's one time that we always stop the clock. We stop it on a foul inside the CSA with under a minute to go. We're stopping it. If we have a redraw, the ball bounces out of bounds on the draw. And then for alternate possession, right? Oh, yep. And if we're issuing a card. So those are the main times that we're stopping the clock. For other than for injury, illness, team timeout, goal, those types of things.
I guess what, Tom, to a certain degree, it's, do I need to explain something? If you think of it that way, right? If giving a card, you can explain why I'm doing that, right? If we're giving alternate possession, we need to explain why it's alternate possession.
Yep. then, okay, so we have those noted somewhere. And then something else in lacrosse, it's always a question after a play, after a foul, is can the girls self-start or not? Is it a self-start or a whistle start? So when can't they self-start? They can't self-start if the clock is stopped. And that also goes into the next one if it's an offside foul, because we've already stopped the clock. And then the rest of them are on those officials, or on the scenarios that we just spoke about. If there's a defensive foul inside the CSA, I guess that one wasn't. So a defensive foul inside the CSA, they cannot self-start. They can't self-start on alternate possession, and we've already talked about we're stopping the clock there. Or if there's an inadvertent whistle, and we talked about that as well. So that's when they cannot self-start. So just having a note on those things, I think, will help with some of these. Sean, do you want to go through every question or go through the ones that we had particular questions about?
Sorry, Tom, one other one, I guess, just for this season, right, the changes. Offensive foul under a minute in any quarter, there's no self-start.
Oh, okay. Probably.
Whereas you would have, in the past, that would have been allowed.
Yeah, so any foul inside the CSA under a minute, we're stopping the clock. Sean, did you want to go through each question, or do you want to go through the ones that we had questions about?
I think we go through each question
Okay.
quickly,
All right.
but then if somebody has a question on a question, then stop and ask the question. Because I think there's 12 that I have where it's like, all right, I know what the answer is, but why is that the answer?
Sure. All right. Question one.
You might have to scroll down as you go.
Sure. With 2 seconds left in the game, white number 3 has an 8-meter free position. So we know the clock is stopped because we're under a minute to go. On the whistle, white 3 runs in and releases the ball prior to the horn. The ball enters the goal after the horn. The official should disallow the goal. True or false? Just like basketball, just like football, kick a field goal, or that ball was released before the horn sounded, it's a good goal.
And that's, answer is false. So that's the importance of that air horn at the scores table.
Yeah.
I think in the lead position, right, you're calling that, right? So you're looking at your teammates going, good.
Yep.
Because you might not have, you're watching that ball as it's released,
Mhm.
but, they're your backups. Yep.
All right, so it's the lead official's judgment.
Is always calling a goal.
Okay, cool.
But generally you're deferring to your partners to make sure there wasn't something like a dangerous follow through or some foul that may have disallowed that goal for one reason or another.
All right. On the draw, question 2. On the draw, all players below the restraining line are released when a whistle stops play for a foul, the ball goes out of bounds off a player or the player's cross, the ball crosses the restraining line, all the above. And that is the right answer.
Yep.
And the reason is, on those first 2, the ball belongs to somebody at that point.
Yep.
The third one, well, if the ball went across the restraining line, I can go across the restraining line.
Well, that second one, though, that nuance with that one, though, too, is that would be going off a player or the player's cross after the draw has happened, right? Because if the ball just goes out of bounds on the draw, then it's a redraw.
All right, question 3. Which of the following is not true regarding goalkeeper equipment? And this one is interesting. The goalkeeper may wear eyeglasses, either tinted or clear. Chin straps must be properly secured to helmets. It is recommended that the goalkeeper wear shin guards. She may affix a device to reduce concussions to the outside of her helmet. She cannot do that. So you can't be protected from a concussion, and you can wear glasses that make it hard to tell if you have a concussion.
That is the only high school sport
Yep.
rule set.
Interesting on the chin strap one in the fall, I had same team, they're playing each other. Both the girls didn't have chin straps in their helmets.
Yeah,
So
that's,
just something I think that people keep an eye out for when during stick checks and whatnot.
So do they have to have them strapped?
There was no chin straps physically in the helmets.
and they have to have them strapped.
Yes, they have to have them strapped.
Okay, okay.
But the helmets just didn't have them in it. I'm like, chin strap one. So sitting here on the girl's head, I'm like, I never had a chin strap one.
Yeah. Okay. So they have to have a chin strap, and if they don't, they have to find a legal mask with the chin strap.
Yep.
Okay.
Following a blown whistle for a foul in the midfield, the ball carrier must stop or pause before self-starting. True or false?
False.
That is false. So this is one that was changed last year in 2024. If that girl is fouled and is able to keep her momentum going down the field, she can just keep on going down the field. It used to be last year up until last year, they had to come to a settled stance, meaning both feet on the ground. And previous to that, it was everybody had to stop. And then way before that, everybody on the field had to freeze. And all right, question 5.
Sorry, and the nuance on that one too is if she chooses to stop, she can.
Yep.
And if she stops and the girl needs to go behind, then that girl needs to go behind 4 meters.
Okay.
If she chooses to keep running, then that defender who fouled her doesn't have to disengage and keep running right with her.
So and that's one where, as officials, we need to work with those players, especially the new players who don't know. Maybe they come from a basketball background. You hear a whistle, you stop, right? They give you that look, like, what do I do? Then you help them out, right? You set them up, put that person behind, and you can tell them, you can self-start. You could have just kept on going. So educate them. Not like the officials yesterday who were chastising players who didn't know the rule and were stopping and waiting for the defense to go behind them.
The other thing that we saw last year with this a little bit was, let's say if a girl's fouled, the ball hit the ground. The girl's trying to pick up the ball and go. The person who fouled her or other people on the other team are on that girl and maybe trying to like check her and not giving her space, right? So the ball hit the ground. So at that point, she should come to a stop. Everybody needs to give 4 meters either away or behind, depending on what the foul was. And we do run into a little bit of, I think, scrummy kind of stuff that happens because people are 100% sure of the rules.
Yeah, and if they're trying to prevent that player from picking up the ball, technically they're delaying the start of the game there. So we can tell them, hey, she can pick this up on her own, and in a stern fashion. And then if they keep on doing it, it's a green card. All right, to resume play when the ball has gone out of bounds on the midfielder, the player passes the ball from out of bounds to her teammate on the field. What should the official do? Bring the ball back and have her run the ball in, allow play to continue, but give the team a verbal warning, call timeout and green card her team, turn the ball over, award the ball to the opposing team 4 meters in from the boundary, and all other players must be 4 meters away. And that is the answer. And there was a question on this one. Why can't they throw it in from out of bounds? I don't know. But so if we go back on our time machine, we talked about this a few weeks ago. There was a point in time where there were no boundaries in women's lacrosse. But they had a playing area where if you were in the parking lot, hey, come back. You need to get back on the green stuff. So my assumption is they wanted that person with the ball to bring the ball back to the playing area and start playing. They didn't want her chucking it from 3 rows deep in the parking lot to a teammate who was standing in front of the goal.
Yeah. So then the other thing that I was thinking, because there's so many balls located around the field, is like, all right, the ball that is on the field, that's the ball we're playing with.
If it's on the field, yes. Yeah. If the ball goes out of bounds and there's a ball lining the field that's closer, pick up that one and go.
But step on
step on. Yep. And so with this rule here, it is kind of black and white. You can't pass it in from out of bounds. But at the same time, if we're in a varsity game, that's what it is. If we're in a low-level JV game where the girls are learning, if we're in a youth game especially, we will coach them up on that. Mm-hmm. It's not the rule, but at the same time, we're trying to grow the sport and keep girls engaged in the game in this area. And that's one way we could help with that. Again, it's not the rule, but that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. Question 6. On a flag for 3 seconds, red shoots and then runs into the goal circle. Offsetting fouls are called, and the red team has the alternate possession. Where is the red team awarded the ball? Okay, so first thing it says a flag for 3 seconds. That's telling us the defense has already fouled. And the red person shot and she went through the goal circle, so she is fouled. So neither of those fouls are worthy of a card. So we do have an alternating possession situation. And the red team is awarded the ball. So where did the foul occur that stopped play? Inside the CSA. If we have an alternating possession inside the CSA, we go to a dot to begin play. Oh, sorry, we should probably look through the answers. At the dot closest to where the foul occurred when the whistle was blown to stop. And for that one, if we think of the field for a little bit, the foul is right here in front of the goal circle, or in the goal circle. It would be a big advantage to give the offensive team the ball on the 8-meter or on the 12. But they fouled too, right? They were breaking the rules. It wasn't just the defense. So even though it's Red's ball because of the alternating possession, their advantage is they get the ball. But the other team is being disadvantaged so much by having them have the ball at the 8 or the 12 because they both messed up. You get the ball, and that's the end of your.
And then if it was the other team's ball, it would be at the spot of the foul going the other way.
Close, because we don't want to disadvantage that team by giving them the ball right in front of the goal circle. So we can't award, we're not going to restart play within 8 meters of that goal circle. So we'll go up to the 8 and then start play. Okay. Just because it'd be, like in other sports, right? You have the ball right under your basket, and now everyone plays defense on you, and you're.
But that's where we stop time too, right? So if we're not stopping time, and let's say if there was an offensive foul that was inside the CSA, defense can pick it up at the spot and go unless it's under that minute, right?
Oh, gotcha.
So that could happen there. But if we're stopping time, then it has to be at least 4 meters away from, or no, 8 meters away from the goal circle. So then we turn them outside of the 8 in that instance if we're stopping time. But in the alternate possession standpoint, then you go to the dot for the same.
Okay.
Like in hockey, right, where you go to those like whatever. I don't know hockey well enough, but those sort of dots outside the goal.
All right. Question 7: with 58 seconds left in the third quarter, a defender commits a major foul outside the critical scoring area. What is the proper procedure? Let's look back to our notes on when do we stop the clock?
Under a minute each quarter.
When?
Foul.
What situation? Where? Inside the CSA? That's when we stop the clock, right? Okay. Where does this foul occur?
Outside the
Outside. CSA. So are we stopping the clock? No. Unless it's a card. Yeah. So here, if it's a cardable foul, they'll tell you what type of foul it is. But here, they just left it generic, a major foul. So we're not stopping the clock. We're not inside that CSA. We don't have alternating possession. We don't have a redraw. It doesn't foul any of our reasons to stop the clock. So play continues.
So you just blow your whistle.
Yep. So remember, one of the goals of the sport is to keep the game moving, right? It's not, some people feel it's not entertaining to watch play being stopped in multiple sports, right? Football, they run out of bounds in the NFL, they're winding the clock back up. Different things. We're keeping that clock moving.
Probably major foul in this instance, right? It makes you think that it's maybe slightly more egregious than it is, but a major foul is a crossbody, right? So you're running with the girl, you're in the midfield, you hit her with a crossbody, you come across her body. That's a major foul, but we're blowing a point and they're keep running.
Yeah. So don't think of minor and major as being a big foul, little foul. Think of them as the type of contact that occurs. We have fouls against the ball or against the stick. Generally speaking, are your minor fouls. Your major fouls are fouls against a person, the crossbody, like Abe mentioned. Within that, we've got bigger fouls. A check to the head, right? Those are major.
Major contact.
Yeah. So those ones are. Don't think about minor is a little foul, major is a big foul. Oh, there's a variation within the big foul list. All right, so that was one that we wanted to discuss. So number 7, are we good with that? The foul was outside the CSA.
Outside the CSA. Play.
8,
Recognize it, play on.
when clearing the penalty zone, which of the following procedures are correct? And again, what's the penalty zone? That's this area here, right? From the dots through the 8, right? So that's the zone. Then we have the CSA, which would be from the 12 to the end line. And we also have a lane, which is just area of space, the width of the goal line or the goal circle to the player. So we have zones, lanes, and areas. Oh my. All right. When clearing the penalty zone, which of the following procedures are correct? A defender just outside the 8-meter arc, a defender just outside the 8-meter arc is entitled to move to the hash adjacent to the player taking a free position. That is true. An attack player may move to the adjacent hash if no defender has elected to claim that hash. True. Players outside the CSA may choose to enter the CSA and position themselves on the 8-meter arc or elsewhere inside the CSA if no delay occurs. That's true. So again, back in the day when I said it was that free use situation, if you weren't in that zone or that area, you couldn't come into the area during the penalty, I believe is how they played it. That's why there's a lot of questions about that. Just from maybe somebody has been officiating the sport or played the sport 30 years ago, and let's make sure we're all on the same page. All right, question 9. If the ball goes directly out of bounds from a legal draw without anyone touching it, how is play restarted? Yep.
Volleyball. Replay.
We're redrawing. So, did anybody do anything wrong in this situation? No, the ball.
They didn't control the ball.
Well, yeah, but nobody broke a rule,
Yeah.
right? So we're just going to have a redraw. We're going to stop.
Bounce funky, and no one was fast enough to get there.
Yeah, stop the clock, and we're redrawing. The reason we're stopping the clock because it takes a minute to get everybody set up. Okay. So like I said earlier, we want to keep the game going, but we don't want it to waste time too, because you can really kill a lot of time during the draw.
Shooting free throws.
Question 10. After the draw and before possession is gained, players from both teams step over the restraining line. So early entry. How shall play be restarted? So we have both teams committing the same foul. Do either of those fouls involve issuance of a card? No. So they're both going to be alternating. We're going to have alternating possession. Were we inside the CSA? No. So we get the ball at the spot of the ball, no closer than 4 meters from a boundary. So with that, the ball is rolling. It's coming from the draw. It's close to the restraining line, and it just loses all of its momentum and stops. And you have these two players anticipating the ball is going to come. They step over, stop it, alternating possession. Whomever is awarded the ball, blue, they get the ball where it's at. We're not going to the sideline or to the center, where it is. Helps keep the game moving. We don't have to go anywhere special.
That's interesting. So, in the scenario that you outlined right there, because I'm trying to think about when I'm reading the question, I'm thinking about officials on either ends, picking a girl for both stepping on the lines. Not that instance. So, if red and white, right? Red steps over first, and then white steps over subsequently. But I'm hitting my whistle on red.
On the first girl?
I'm going to think on the first girl.
You stop play.
I'm stopping play, and it's the first girl. So, like, they would have to cross simultaneously for it to be AP in that instance.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you hear somebody call AP, alternating possession.
Yep.
We don't call that a ton.
No, we should call it more, but we don't.
Yeah.
Question 11. The blue team goalkeeper has left the goal circle to pick up a loose ball that was checked out of an opponent's stick. So she is no longer in the cylinder. The ball is not in the cylinder. We haven't heard anything about any defenders near her, so she probably hasn't been checked. What are our options? I don't want to read. Okay. The goalkeeper may carry the ball into the goal circle because she's not. The ball wasn't in the goal circle, left. So she's not returning it to the goal circle.
She's bringing it to.
She's bringing it. The goalkeeper may pass to a teammate who ran into the goal circle when her team gained possession. So that would be that deputy that we talked about last week. The goalkeeper may toss the ball into the goal circle. So same thing as the one above. All of those things.
That's one that coaches are a little, at least last year they were, because this was a rule change, I think last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've changed it a couple of years where they, you had to be fully inside the cylinder. So if a girl, or grounded in the cylinder, I forget the exact wording. So if 1 foot was in, you lifted up that out, or the back foot, now you're out. And
But in the past, the goalie couldn't walk it back in. They actually had to roll it in and then enter the cylinder, whether they've been played or not played or anything. Just know that if she's outside, picks up the ball, she can walk back in legally. You might have a coach yelling at you, that's illegal. No, it's not. It's perfectly fine.
all right, question 12. If both players draw illegally, or it cannot be determined why the draw did not go above the center's heads, what should the officials do? Let's talk about this a little bit. So we haven't talked a lot about the draw, but one of the things to make the draw legal is that ball has to go above their heads. The reason being, we don't want that ball floating in midair right in front of the other player's face, and you try and go get it. I'm assuming that's why. And so if it doesn't go above the head, it's not illegal. And then we talk about drawing legally. To draw legally, the players have to go up with the stick. They can't come back trying to get the ball in their pocket and bring it back this way. They have to go straight up with it. So that would be legal versus illegal. So here, the ball did not go up. We don't know why. What should we do? Redraw it.
But I would try to figure out why that is, right? Because you will have girls, like Tom mentioned, they're like, this is what they do all day long. And if the ball's always going behind them, it's like either one, we're putting it in their stick, which we shouldn't be putting it directly in any girl's stick. You should put it in the upper or in between. But if she's always going like this and always going like this, likely she's not going up because she's feeling the pressure of this girl, and she's getting the pressure and she's just going back. So you will see some illegal draws. You will see girls drawing up, and it's nuancy, I think, for newer officials. But that's one of the things you, as the official administrating the draw, you want to watch for is where are those sticks going and are they drawing up? Because if they're not, then we're giving the girl who's not drawing up an advantage, and you'll see that girl win that draw every single time, and it's always going. You see her player moves. She goes, it's right to that girl. And you're like, watch for those
Yeah,
things.
and that's the extreme of a very talented player being able to do that. We also have the other extreme, the player who's never held a stick before and is doing the draw and doesn't know what she's doing. And I'm not judging because I don't know what I'm doing with, I couldn't do a draw. So you have that reason, and then you have the inexperienced reason. All right, 13. Red number 1 is on a fast break and shoots on goal, misses, and the ball goes out of bounds. When the ball crosses the end line, the white goalkeeper, while in her goal circle, is closest to the ball. How is play restarted? So we have a shot, and in lacrosse, in girls lacrosse, that ball on a shot that goes out of bounds, the ball belongs to the team that's closest to the ball. So our options, I don't like reading the false ones because I don't want those to stick in anybody's head. So the answer is allow the goalkeeper or any teammate to retrieve the ball and initiate a self-start from the boundary. So it used to be it was the goalkeeper's ball. We talked about this a week or two ago, where it was the goalie's ball. Now they've changed it to the goalkeeper's ball. Or the goalkeeper's team's ball. That just makes it easier because, like we said, you're a lot better passing with a field player stick than with a goalie stick. 14. This is one that we had some questions on. The ball crosses over the restraining line and is carried into the 8-meter arc by the white team on attack. The official realizes that blue defense is offside and blows the whistle to stop the clock. What is the free position setup? So it kind of tells us part of it where we stop the clock. Offside, we always stop, right? All right, so where is the ball at? Let's not even look at our options yet. Where is the ball at when the whistle is blown? We're inside that 8-meter. It is in team possession. So what should we do? We correct the offside, and that's why we call timeout, because we're moving people around. The closest white ball carrier is awarded a free position at the center of the 12-meter fan. Well, it says the closest white ball carrier. In this case, it would be the one carrying the ball. Or excuse me, yeah. The white ball carrier is awarded a free position at the center of the 12-meter fan. Blue player closest to the ball will go 4 meters behind, whistle start. Abe, we have some concerns on that one. That's question 14. So 14, let's look at, one thing with this test, if you go to the show feedback, it'll tell us the rule reference. So Rule 8, Section 1, Article 2. Where do we put the ball? We have an offside foul, right? What's that? Where's the ball going offside? Regardless of where the ball's at, where does it go? If the defense is offside and the ball is inside the critical scoring area and above the goal line extended, when the violation is called, the tackle will be awarded a free position at the center of the 12-meter fan. Page 51. Remember that's one that they changed last year or the year before?
So all offside is 12 meter.
No. I may have not said it very well.
Pull up the data because
Yeah.
goes
If
up.
if we're
Okay.
offside and we're between the restraining line and the 12 meter, then we're at the spot. If the defense is offside and the ball is outside the critical scoring area when the violation occurred, the ball will be awarded a free, the tackle will be awarded a free position at that spot. So, and again, the procedure for this one, the defensive team that's closest to the restraining line goes back on the other side of the restraining line, and of the players that are left, the player closest to the ball goes behind the player, because if we didn't put anybody behind, we haven't penalized anybody yet, because they should be playing with 8 below the restraining line, right? So now if we just make that 8, oh, there's no penalty yet. We need to put a girl behind. That's the penalty, is putting them behind. You okay with that one?
Yep.
All right, 15. Blue number 2 has the ball outside the 12-meter fan, so we're not in the CSA. When white 17 is called for 3 seconds with 5 minutes left in the game, what is the penalty administration? This is the one that they changed a couple years ago. So we have 3 seconds, and we are outside of the CSA. We haven't talked a ton about 3 seconds, but okay. It's told us there's 5 minutes left in the game, so that's kind of telling us they want to know what are we doing with the clock. We're not doing anything with the clock because we're outside of 5 minutes, and we don't meet any of our criteria for stopping the clock that we wrote down previously. Set up the free position on the 12-meter fan closest to the ball at the time of the whistle. White 17 is placed 4 meters behind, clear the lane. And this girl, so she could have been nowhere near the ball, but just she committed a foul. So they call that, she's doing the walk of shame from where she was to 4 meters behind the top of the 12.
Could then anybody enter replace her?
No.
You wouldn't have anyone replaced.
Well,
So not
she can't be substituted for.
Correct.
Yeah, is that what you meant?
no. I mean, like, so you're taking her out where she
Putting-
would committed the 3 seconds.
She's not out necessarily. She's just behind, right?
Yep. But now, so as 17 is walking behind, can another teammate?
She need to clear that lane still.
Yeah,
You
somebody.
still have the same amount of growth below the restraining line, so you
Yep.
can't have any more. You're just, much like any major foul, you're putting her 4 meters behind. She's the one who committed that foul, so even though you're
Yeah, so
here, right, and she's here, where we call the 3 seconds.
Yep.
So we're going to bring this girl to the 12. We're going to move her 4 meters behind in that instance, right? So there's still the same amount of girls with.
Yeah. So, like, let's say there was another defender out here.
she can drop in.
As you're moving her back, can she?
She can't be there because
But-
you clear the lane.
but-
Because we're going to have
Yep.
a clear lane here because we're not setting up on hashes because it's at the 12. So we're just clearing a lane for a shot on the 12. So we're having that sort of this lane open. All the girls can bunch up around here, and you're going to put that one girl behind.
Okay.
So Sean, if you were supposed to be guarding me and you kind of snuck away and now you're in 3 seconds, one of your teammates can now come and guard me.
Okay.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was.
So-
yep.
I mean, you'd be wasting a defender by having them guard me, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
All right.
In 3 seconds, is there in the 8 meter mark not guarding somebody?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Not guarding somebody.
And the ball has to be below the restraining line.
Within a stick's length, unless they're mirroring someone behind.
Could they guard 2 at the same time within stick length because they have so many offensive players in there?
But that wouldn't keep you.
Because I'm thinking now if you're down
I mean,
because of yellow cards.
Yeah. Oh, if the offense is
Yep.
down.
No, the defense is down, so there's more offensive players in the restraining area than defensive
I feel like
players.
those offensive players wouldn't be that close. You wouldn't have 2 offensive players
Okay.
next to a defender, I would think, in that instance. But yeah.
All right, 16. The clock shall stop in the last minute of each quarter for a foul in the critical scoring area unless the team is winning by 10 or more goals. True or false? We wrote this down already.
Yep, true.
True. 17. While in the CSA with 128 left in the first quarter, so they're telling us the time. So right away, unless it's a cardable offense, I'm thinking we're not stopping the clock. White attack charges into a blue defender, causing a foul that ends the play. The blue defender picks up the ball and self-starts. This is legal, true or false? So when can we self-start? When can't we self-start?
When the clock is stopped.
When the clock is stopped, that's one of the things. We don't have offside, we don't have alternating possession, which would stop the clock, and it's not a defensive foul. It's on the offense, right? So she can go. 18. The score is 5-2 in the second quarter of the game with 1:52 left on the clock. Again, we're not stopping it unless it's a card or something special. White 16 is checked in the head. All right, it's a card. We're going to stop it. The official blows the whistle, calls timeout to issue blue number 2 a yellow card. While the official is reporting the card to the table, white number 16 immediately self-starts. The official should blow the whistle and signal a change for a false start on white 16.
No.
Okay, did we have... All right, so what do we say? False. False.
Yeah, just wait for me. Hold up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go jump back.
Yeah.
Let's look at question 1.
Question 1 was the scoring one when it leaves the...
Oh, not 1. There's a similar question in here where it's on a free position.
Correct.
So that one is a turnover.
We haven't covered it yet.
Okay. Oh, it's in here.
Yeah.
Right. So this one here, the foul is in the middle of the field, right? Or where's it at?
Yep, 17.
Midfield. She started when she shouldn't have. And the answer is telling us that we're just going to bring her back and have her start. And this is the first time it's happened. Let's pretend. There's a question later on where we have the same foul for a false start, but we make it a turnover because it's on a free position on an 8-meter shot. This one here, there's not much of an advantage to starting 42 yards away from the goal circle or further.
And we're just not ready yet either, right? I mean, I think that's the thing. We're still reporting the cards, things like that, or an 8-meter shot, right? I mean, it's like we have to set up that position. You know, the lead official is got their hand up. They're going, all right, ready? Yep, all right. And then that girl goes to jump the whistle or something like that to get advantage on that shot.
Yeah.
I think that's the...
And then this also, on that 8-meter, everybody knows you go on the whistle.
Right.
Now, we've talked already about, okay, we blow the whistle, but they keep on going. They can self-start, different situations.
Yeah,
This is kind of okay, we know there's a lot of if-thens. We're just going to bring you back, unless you've done it multiple times during the game, which point we could award a green card. Not award, issue. 19. The blue team is opting to start a draw with only 11 players on the field. We've talked about this. We talked about this last week. The ball quickly transitioned to blue's attacking end, and 7 attackers crossed the restraining line into their attacking end. The 12th blue player is still on the sideline talking to a coach. Therefore, there are only 3 defenders and the blue goalkeeper behind the restraining line. What is the proper procedure?
Play on.
So, yeah, and that we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between having 11 players on the field because someone is serving a penalty versus choosing to have 11 players on the field. There's a difference. And we aren't limited. There's not a rule saying you have to have at least so many players above the restraining line. It's you can't have more than so many players below the restraining line. So here, allow play to continue, no foul is occurring. So they can still have 7 players below the restraining line because we're not holding one back in the penalty or in the substitution area in the penalty box, if you will. That one, okay, everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When is it not legal for a coach to ask for a stick check? Once we start the draw, okay? And there's other situations too. But we can always ask for it after a goal. We can always ask for it during a team timeout. But we talked about substitutions and moving around above or below that restraining line on the draw. Once the officials put their hands on the draw, on their sticks, then everybody's where they're at. So that's kind of, everything stops when we touch the stick. The other time they can't do it, ask for it, is during an injury timeout, I believe. So no stick checks then. Because if they wanted a stick check, they should have already asked for it by then. 21, which of the following is not a mandatory card? Dangerous follow through, dangerous contact, dangerous propel, dangerous shot. So they all have the word dangerous in them. Why? What's the difference between, why is a dangerous shot any difference? Well, the goalkeeper is padded up. She has a helmet on, she has a chest protector on, she has thigh pads on. She doesn't have to have shin guards, but she can. That's why this, to me, that's why I justify this one not being a cardable offense.
So how do you judge dangerous shot?
I've never called a dangerous shot.
So our old trainer is, if you're standing in the middle of the 8 in front of the goalkeeper and you hit her in the head, that's a dangerous shot.
Hit her in the head with the ball,
Yeah.
or your stick?
With the ball.
Okay.
That was Adams. Because if you're right here in the head, that's on that shooter.
So it's pretty much, you'll know it when you see it. They're not trying to hit the net, they're trying to.
Because there's also skill involved in it,
level of
right?
skill in this league is
So are we judging intent on
to a certain-
Tom's shot to Sean's head? Like,
To a
did
certain
you
degree.
intend to hit Sean in the head, or are you just not very skilled? and
Yes.
Accidentally hit
That's
him?
what you're going to see
Yeah.
in Nebraska and Iowa, is that not knocking anybody, but that's why there's going to be a hit. Okay, do you ever
Coach
So-
to, like,
so then-
use their head and stop the ball too.
do you ever interrupt you? You have one boy. Do you have any other children? Okay, so I think everybody else has been to the little kid soccer game. They're running down the field, and their little star athlete has the ball right in front of the goalie. Where do they kick the ball 9 out of 10 times? Right to the goalie. Because the goalie's in the middle, same thing. That's where, right in the middle. They're not thinking top shelf. And they're not. The less skilled players and the little kids playing soccer. There's right in the middle, that's where I shoot it. So there's not intent there. There's a lack of skill on that one.
I think the one that I think of with this one, I've never seen it, but it's like the goalie's turning is behind or is turned around for whatever reason, facing below GLE because she's watching the ball, right? There's a quick pass, somebody turns around and then rips it like the goalie's back or something like that, which would be an unprotected portion of the goalie. That might be, but it's a weird one. Dangerous shot with or without control at the goalkeeper. Dangerous shot is judged from the basic combination of distance, force, and placement. Shot should not be directed at the goalkeeper's body, especially head or neck. This would also apply if the goalkeeper. This would not apply if the goalkeeper has time to react and or moves into the shot. So it's like, again, hitting them in the head. I mean, if they move their head into that spot, then that was their choice.
So then it's not a dangerous shot
Correct.
because the goalie chose to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. There's a question later on.
Okay. All right.
We'll get back to that.
All right, question 22. Score is 9-0 with 5 minutes left in the game. All right, so that tells us a couple things regarding when we stop the clock. The clock shall be stopped for which of the following? All fouls in the critical scoring area. No, that doesn't meet what we wrote down earlier. An illegal draw. We're not redoing the draw, not a redraw, but an illegal draw where we just award it. Remember, a redraw, the ball went out of bounds. We don't know why. Offside, we know that because we wrote that down early. Early entry on a draw. We did not write that down early. So offside. That's when we're stopping it. 23. The blue goalkeeper reaches out of the goal circle to pick up a loose ball while straddling the goal circle. So she is still in the cylinder. Red number 4 approaches to play defense on the goalkeeper. In an attempt to protect the ball, the goalkeeper steps back into the goal circle with the ball. What should you do? She hasn't done anything wrong. There's no foul. Like one of the questions we talked about earlier, they're not returning the ball to the circle.
They're bringing it in.
Yeah.
She possessed the ball. She maintained
Yep.
her position in the cylinder. Whereas if she would have stepped completely out, she couldn't return unless she had been played or the ball had been played. By play, it would be checked.
All right, 24. This is one. We had some questions. An off-ball hold is called against white defense, just as blue attack is being called for offside. All right, so we have fouls on both teams. The ball is in the center of the 8-meter arc at the time, so we're inside the CSA. And white has the alternate possession. How is the restart administered? How do we administer the restart? So we're giving white the ball, and white's getting the ball, right? And is it in their offensive or defensive end?
Yeah, we have till 4. How much time do you need to set up though?
Right. So is it in the
We have
offensive or
about
defensive
3
end?
carts coming in.
Okay.
Let me check with Lois if she wants to put me somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And we just talked about when both teams do something wrong and we go to the AP, if it is remaining with the attacking team, we go to the dot. And then did we say if it's going to go to the defense, we go to the
8.
8-meter?
We may have said that, yes. But here
But here it's going to the
Here they're going to the nearest dot. All blue players must be 4 meters away. Okay, show feedback. Let's look this one up. 551F.
At that spot, no closer than 8 meters to the goal circle. The ball is in the CSA below the GLA.
So you good with this one, Abe?
Yeah.
But on the
Because wasn't the other one the same thing? We were at the dot because we didn't want to give.
go AP and we stay with the attacking team. We're going to go to the dot.
Correct. And
But
with
now this one is we're going AP and we're going to the defense. And the correct answer is that defense is given possession at the nearest dot.
are we going with the defense?
It's AP, that's why, sorry.
So
It's
So
AP
are
was
we
the reason.
always going to a dot when we go AP?
Yeah.
CSA?
so alternate possession awarded inside the critical scoring area shall be awarded to at the closest dot.
I think the offsides is the thing that was tricky from that one for, at least that's the one where I was got stuck on offsides in that instance. But yes, we're at AP, so AP is always at the dot.
So on this one here, it doesn't on page 41, rule 553B, alternate possession awarded inside the critical scoring area shall be awarded at the closest dot. There's no reference to attack or defense.
Yeah, so we had the room from 2 to 4, but we could end. What do you want to?
I was going to say, 3 moms and test ACT stuff starts at 4. And we just need to start to set stuff.
Question 25. A defender from the blue team steps into shooting space as a player from red team is preparing to shoot a goal. So shooting space is one that we always shut down. We don't raise a flag. The red player shoots and hits the blue defender. The official blows the whistle. Okay, so we shut it down, right? We shooting space. Did it say we? No, they didn't say we shut it down. We have a foul for shooting space, and then the player shoots. The official blows the whistle, calls a shooting space foul against the blue defender, calls timeout, and issues a card to the red player for dangerous propelling. The official awards a free position to the blue defender at the closest spot on the 8-meter arc. Play resumes with a whistle start. This is the correct penalty administration. True or false? So it's true. So when we have shooting space, 2 groups of people should recognize that. The official and the attack player should recognize shooting space. We are responsible for shutting the play down. They're responsible for not shooting.
So they're responsible for not shooting, even if we fail to shut it down.
Well, if we fail to shut it down, it's going to be hard for us to call her for a dangerous propel.
Well, she still hits a girl. She hits a girl, right?
Okay, but I mean, if she doesn't hit her, if
Okay,
she busts the tower,
Yeah.
doesn't hit her, that's hard for us to say you shouldn't have shot, even though we didn't call a shooting space. That's tough for us to. Now it's right; she shouldn't have shot,
Right.
but
It's
it's
still incumbent on the shooter not to take that shot.
yeah. So it's
Because this is the one that, like, kind of getting back to your earlier comment about, like, well, the goalie just to put her head in the way of the ball. Like, and this is me obviously being completely new to lacrosse, but like the blue player chose to put herself in that position, and now we're gonna penalize the red player. Like, it seems like we're putting red at a disadvantage because they got themselves there.
But the red player didn't have a shot, so that's the difference, right? And it is like they would expect that shooting space call, but whether you get that call or not, you don't have a legal shot because I can't shoot through you to the goal. Thus making it a dangerous
Okay, all
propel.
right, okay. I'm getting it.
So
I'm getting it.
your job as a defender is to get into the lane, and my job as an offensive. Yep. And my job as an offensive player is if I see somebody in my lane, I have to adjust
Correct.
to not shoot.
okay. I think it's really hard, right?
Yeah.
The goalie has protection on, so her moving her head into the shot is different than a player without equipment on moving into the shot. It's still a foul on them,
Yeah.
but if they get hurt, there's a card on the player who, if they get hit.
The nuance on what you're talking about, when is I'm a defender and I'm shooting, you're shooting, and I step in front of the shot, red card. You're
On
done.
you, the defense.
Yes, on you, the defense.
Okay.
Right, because that is
Okay.
illegal for a defender to step in front of a shot, especially if it's an imminent goal. So it's like, that would be I think I've seen that once, and I was at the end of the game, and I was like, I don't know what to do here. So then I went back. I was like, oh gosh, but that doesn't happen a ton.
Yeah.
No, thankfully.
All right, so somebody gets in the lane, it's the offensive responsibility to not shoot, continue to move to open up a new lane.
They would expect a shooting space call, and the coach will lose their mind on you most likely if it's a really obvious one.
Yeah.
But shooting space is a weird call too, right? I mean, it's really about the angle that you're at. And what looks like shooting space 30 yards away isn't necessarily shooting space if you're in the correct position.
Gotcha.
Is there a time when shooting space is or isn't in effect? Like, do they need to be like?
They have to have the ability to shoot.
So what does that mean?
Well, let's look it up. Shooting space. When any part of the player's body guard the outside, with any part of the player's body, guard that goal outside the goal circle so as to obstruct the free space to goal between the ball and the goal circle, which denies the attack the opportunity to shoot safely and encourages shooting at a player. Shooting space is in effect when the ball is within the critical scoring area and above the goal line extended. This positioning applies only if initiated by the defender, and not if the defender is drawn into free space to goal by an attack player. We'll talk about that. And this positioning applies to the defender not marking an attack player within a stick's length. So, if I'm playing defense and you've got the ball, here's the goal, and you could shoot there, and the person I'm guarding runs in that path, I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not in shooting space because I'm guarding this person.
As long as you continue to guard that person.
Yeah. So I follow them through. That's what they mean by being drawn into shooting space. You can't trick them into getting into shooting space.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 27, which of the following is a major foul? Empty stick check. That's not, because that's a minor foul. That's a foul against the ball or the stick. Hooking. So if somebody has the ball like this and I put my webbing of my stick on the bottom of theirs, pull it out. That's what they're talking about.
So hooking is on another player's cross, not another player's body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Physical foul, I guess, if you want to think about it that way.
Well, let's double check that thing.
Okay, so maybe, yeah, that's
Okay. All right.
major.
But did I give the right example?
Yes. I'll, using the webbed area of the cross to hook the bottom end of the opponent's cross.
Yep.
Okay. All right. A goal is scored when the ball comes off the body of an official. No. An attack player kicks the ball into the goal. No. The ball is released before the horn goes off and enters the goal after the horn. Yes.
That's sort of an important one too, because you can't kick the ball, right? So I mean, I think that's one of the weird things. It's like on the field you can kick the ball, you just can't kick the ball into the goal.
29. A blue player is whistled for a push in the midfield on red number 5. The red team calls a timeout. Following the team timeout, red number 9 replaces red number 5 on the field. This is legal. False.
So that's I had a question. When is it legal to sub when the clock is not started?
Okay, so you can substitute, but not for this player in this situation. So go back to basketball, might make it easy.
Mm-hmm.
You foul me and I get to shoot free throws. I'm a terrible free throw shooter. You can't bring somebody else in for me.
Okay.
This is similar.
But the same thing with the person who committed the foul too. You'll see that person who like go sub out. No. You
Yeah.
have to stay. You
So
committed
red
the foul.
5 has to stay because she's going to be the one.
Yep. Yeah.
Passing the ball or advancing the ball.
Yep. Yeah, so the players involved with the foul can't sub.
That makes sense now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. All right, 30. A blue player has possession of the ball between the 8-meter arc and the 12-meter fan. We're inside the CSA. A possession timeout is called. Where do we restart play from? Okay, so we're inside the CSA. It would be we're going to the dot because it would be a big advantage to start play inside, that close to the goal. Because you work hard to get the ball down there. The defense works hard to prevent it. Even though you have it there now, if you want to keep it there, don't call timeout.
Yeah, so could the team only in possession be the team that could call timeout?
Yep.
And it has to be clear possession, or could it be while passing? Does like D player have to be possessing
So
the ball?
they don't really have team possession defined in lacrosse.
All right, so player possession.
Player possession.
Okay.
because that comes up with other things, that
Yeah,
team
that's-
possession.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that in player possession.
Any player can call down.
Yeah,
Typically the coach does.
yeah, usually the coach. But red attack is awarded free possession on the center hash mark. So 2 blue teammates stand next to each other on the adjacent hash. So 2 defenders. A red player requests a space between the 2 defenders. The officials must grant that space. False. Again, the rule is everybody's 4 meters away. We're going to let the defense be there, the first one, because somebody has to guard that person. That's the only one that we care about, is on each side, that person 4 meters away. We don't care about anybody else in this situation. As people, we care for them and we wish them the best. 32, a whistle is blown for a 3-second violation when the ball is below the goal line extended, outside the CSA. The official brings the ball to the closest dot. The offender is placed 4 meters behind the attack player with the ball to restart. Okay, so we're below that goal line extended. We're below the GLE. We're not going to award them, hey, you can have the ball right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
They took it down below. They can keep it down there. 33. Blue intercepts a pass at midfield and begins a fast break towards goal. As the blue ball carrier crosses the restraining line, a red team non-marking defender clearly positions herself in the 8-meter arc in direct path to goal. The official should... All right, what are they getting at here? They're getting at shooting space, right? When do we have shooting space? What's that? We have to be inside the CSA? Is that what you said? Okay. Here, we're below the restraining line, right? Yeah. So we're still 15 yards away. So the answer is allow play to progress. The shooting space calls can only be determined and called when the ball has entered the CSA.
Now that there could be 3 seconds. This 3 seconds is in effect once you cross the restraint line.
Yep. 34. Which of the following is considered a delay of game and requires the issuance of a green card for the first attempt? For the first offense to a team. All right, when can we have delay? We can have it when players fail to move 4 meters away on a free position, repeatedly self-start from beyond 4 meters from the spot of the foul, any type of behavior which in the official's opinion amounts to a delay. So here, in the question says, first offense to a team, and then in question B, repeated self-start. So is it their first offense or is it a repeated one? It's hard to tell there. But if they repeatedly begin play for more than 4 meters.
Is the first offense more, I think, an ode to the fact that it was the second time and it's a green-yellow versus just being
Yeah, probably. So that first one, failure to move 4 meters away on a free position, I'm not giving anybody a green card for the first time that I have to tell them to back up, because you're going to tell people to back up all day long. You're not going to get the first time. Any type of behavior which an official amounts to delay, yeah, they get called for a foul, they're mad about it, they kick the ball down the field. 35. Which of the following is not true when a ball goes out of bounds during the draw? Again, I don't like reading false things. Alternate possession will take place at the spot where the ball went directly out of bounds. Or, excuse me, I was, yeah, which is not. So let's read the first one. After the draw, if the ball goes out of bounds off a player's body or stick, the ball goes to the player of the opposing team. True, it's out of bounds on you. B, a timeout and redraw will take place when the draw goes directly out of bounds. That's true. Alternate possession will take place if after the draw, other players contact the ball and officials are unable to determine which team caused the ball to go out of bounds. True. And the other one, last one's false. And if you guys officiate other sports like basketball, you're wondering, like, So we just get we don't have to figure out who put the ball out of bounds. How lazy are you guys? In basketball, you're no more than 94 feet away, right? Granted, not going to do a squared plus b squared and stuff, but you're close, right? Here, you're at a football field with 2 officials. You're not going to know all the time who put the ball out of bounds. And you're better off saying alternating possession, I can't tell, versus blue. You don't do that. Go AP. 36. Blue 21 is called for a dangerous contact. Is that one of the cardable things? Dangerous contact?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The only dangerous thing that isn't a mandatory card is dangerous shot.
Yeah.
Dangerous contact on white 32 between the restraining lines. So we're not in the CSA, and is issued a card. As the official is about to whistle the restart, white 32 passes the ball to her teammate. The official blows her whistle and resets to play. So we had that other one. This is that one. I think it was question 18 maybe, where it was on an 8-meter shot. She started early. Here, she...
We didn't get to that one yet, I don't think.
Oh.
But yeah, this is another instance of like letting them do it. It's really that 8-meter false start.
Yeah. So
you're for a false start.
Yeah, you're 50 meters away from the goal. Just come back. Let's do it over. Now, repeatedly, then we can card them. Or turn it over. 37. When is the 3-second rule in effect? When the team in possession of the ball crosses over the restraining line and their attacking end of the field. 38. Which of the following criteria is legal when setting a pick? A stance that is not wider than shoulder width. That's true. The cross is in a vertical position between 10 and 12. True. Set in the visual field of the opponent. True. We can't sneak up behind them. So all those things are true and necessary for it to be a legal pick. 39, this is one we have some questions on. An attack player false starts when taking a free position on an 8-meter hash mark in the first minute of the game. The official blows the whistle to stop play. What is the correct procedure? So they told us how much time is left. So that tells us we're not, because of just for that part, we're not stopping the clock. There could be other reasons, but for here, we're not stopping the clock. Call the false start, change possession, and allow any player from the defensive team to take free position by self-starting. So the clock's not stopped, so we can self-start in this situation here. And again, just like 2 questions ago, false start, and that one was just a do-over. Here is a turnover because we are so close to that goal. 40. During injury timeout, which of the following is not legal? Ask for a stick check. Can't do that. We can substitute. Coaching is permitted. 41. When is it not legal to substitute a player on the field during the game? Once the official's hands are in contact with the stick. The other times are fine. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't any other times that they can't, but in these options here, that's D is our correct option. Or, yeah.
Yep.
The last one is. 42. Blue player 27 is having her stick check pregame when the official notices that she has a clear mouth guard. The official should move on to the next player. It's legal.
Yep.
43. The team receives their 4th yellow card of the game. What is the proper procedure for the remainder of the game? We talked about this last week. If this is a player's 2nd yellow card, she may not re-enter. The team must play 1 player short the remainder of the game. In each subsequent yellow card or red card, the team must play 1 more player short for the remainder of the game. So you get 4 players, 4 yellow cards, you're 1 short. You get a 5th one, you're 2 short.
How far down can they go?
They have to have someone take the draw. Yeah.
I just don't have to have a goalie. I don't know.
Yeah.
So as long as they have a chance to win?
I'm going to say
We've only ever, this is very uncommon. I should say it's not very uncommon. It's somewhat uncommon that you get to this point, let alone to have it happen 10 more times.
Yeah, teams for the most part, when they get to 3, they're like, and we verbalize that. This is your third one, coach. Next one you're playing down the rest of the game. Yep, got it. You hear them. They're like, no more checking. Keep it clean. Because they don't want to play down the rest of the game.
So if it's 4 different players that get a yellow card, then who chooses the player that has to leave?
Well, so we're going to have, so she's saying number 12 is the player who gets the 4th card. So she's going to sit out for 2 minutes, and then she's eligible to come back in the game, but somebody else has to leave. So she's asking who chooses. The coach. The coach picks. What is the proper procedure when a goalkeeper receives a yellow card, her first, and the team has no other dress goalie? We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
The coach must designate another player who must leave the field and enter the penalty area for 2 minutes of elapsed playing time. So somebody has to serve that foul. And we have to have that goalkeeper.
Now, if they have another dress goalkeeper, they do need to pull another player off the field.
Yep. Someone's coming off the field.
Correct.
At least one person's coming off the field.
Well, that is going to be 2.
Well, but if we don't have a dress goalkeeper, so at least one person's coming off.
Right.
If they have a dress goalkeeper, that person is the
that person's coming off, then a field player has to come off.
well, the substitute goalkeeper comes in, the starting goalkeeper leaves, and then that other person. So at least one. Yeah. It's just like a technical. Well, I guess you pick. Yeah, just like technical, you pick who shoots your free throws, right?
Yep.
Depending on the type of technical. 45. The timekeeper lets the officials know there is 1 minute left in the second quarter. Again, so think about stopping the clock. When shall official and timekeeper stop the clock unless there's a 10-goal differential? Foul in the midfield? No. For all fouls in the critical scoring area? Yes.
Yep.
46. An attack player inside the 12-meter fan receives a pass and runs towards goal with the opportunity to shoot. A defender is legally marking and facing an opponent behind the goal circle. So this is that situation where the person that I'm guarding, like field is this way, the person I'm guarding has gone below, so now I'm guarding her like this. I'm not going to get a 3 seconds call. I'm exempt from that. But I'm not exempt from shooting space, right? What question is that one? 46? Attack player inside the 12-meter fan receives a pass and runs towards the goal with the opportunity to shoot. Defender is legally marking base opponent behind the goal circle. What is the correct action? I guess we don't know if she's in shooting space, do we? Sorry. Raise a flag because the ball carrier is on a scoring play and the defense is committing a major foul. No call should be made because the low defender is exempt for both 3 seconds and shooting space. That's false. Immediately blow the whistle for shooting space. Allow play to continue because the low defender is not looking at the ball carrier, therefore shooting space may not be called. It's not that one. So we have...
And that's the one I got incorrect.
Yeah.
So immediately blow for whistle for shooting space.
Yep.
No, so like...
So again, here's
the goal.
Right here is the goal, this white thing.
I'm the shooter, Tom's the defender, right?
I'm guarding my...
Tom's not in 3 seconds because he's guarding the girl below GLE. But I'm the shooter, right? And I receive the pass, and I go right here. Tom's in shooting space. So it's you're allowed to mirror, and you're allowed to be exempt from 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You can't, but you still have to be aware enough for shooting space, because then otherwise you have defenders who just camp around and like take up all that space,
Yep.
and that's not legal.
Gotcha.
And they need to be aware of all this, right? I mean, it just can't be like.
As blue attempts to pick up a loose ball, white checks the player's stick when the ball is in contact with the stick, but not fully in the pocket of the stick. An empty stick check should be called. True or false?
False.
False. So we don't do an, even though their stick is empty, the ball is not in it. If their stick is in contact with the ball, that's good enough. We can hit it away. So, hold on, I said that completely backwards.
You said it right.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, sorry, thank you.
If ball doesn't touch the stick, ball touches the stick, you can check away.
You could check away. Yep.
A blue defender is standing still, defensively holding the stick in a horizontal position in the center of the 8-meter arc. The white ball carrier charges into the blue defender. How is play restarted? So what do we have? So it says they charged into that defender. So we have a charge. And we have illegal stick-to-body contact because I was holding the stick not 10-2 and made contact with the offensive player, or the offensive player made contact with me. It doesn't matter. Neither of those, so that both teams committed a foul. Neither of those fouls involve a card, so we could have alternating possession. We're inside the 8-meter arc, so we're in the CSA, above the goal line extended.
Going to the dot.
But it doesn't even,
Call both fouls, AP, go to dot.
yeah, I guess it didn't say who gets it, right?
Yep.
Oh, are we doing AP? Are we going to the dot though if the defense is awarded the ball?
It said last time we said AP didn't matter.
Yeah.
AP is dot.
All right. 49. After the draw, players from the red team run towards the team bench area on the sideline and throws their stick to a player on the sideline, when she grabs another one from a teammate on the bench. What should the official do? And this we did talk about a little bit. They can exchange sticks. It just has to be inside the substitution area. This question doesn't say whether it's inside or outside, but how they phrase it, it makes it sound kind of sloppy and that somebody just chucked it to her. They have to be inside that substitution area. So we're going to have a foul, minor foul on the red team. The stick must be exchanged through the substitution area.
And then that's just a self-start, right?
Yeah.
Boom, the other team's ball, go.
Alternate possession awarded inside the CSA shall be awarded at the dot.
Yep.
Opponent charged 4 meters away, blah, blah, blah.
All right, 50. During cross inspection, the official shall drop the ball into the pocket. Here, can I see that? Shall drop the ball into the pocket of a horizontally held cross and apply pressure to ensure the ball remains visible. So I drop the ball in here,
False.
push it down here. That's not what we do.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Yeah, that you did have to do that. Now you don't. They're good. That was 50.
Was that 50?
Yep.
All right. I know there's another group trying to get ready for a pre-test ACT. So are the next time, what I'll do, I'm going to be going through who has completed this test and contacting people who has not completed the test to please complete the test.
You see that in USA Lacrosse?
What's that?
You see that in USA
Mhm.
Lacrosse?
Yep. And then we have our event March 15th and 16th down in Lincoln. That will be sent out via email of new officials, what time we want you there, returning officials, what time we want you there, and you communicating back to me what officials will be there Saturday or Sunday. And then I've gotten some response back already for the JV event, March 30th and 31st at Miller West. And if I don't hear back from people within this week for either of those events, I'll probably reach out personally to what day can you get out, get seen, get observed, get some experience on the field. But the season's almost here. I think March 16th is our first lacrosse game. So, not 16th, 17th. After the 17th or 18th. So, thank you for who has been coming to these meetings and watching the practices, and get you on the field here really soon.